Raider Nation, what's going on? It's Mitchell Renz here, host of the Raiders Report, and we're breaking down the Las Vegas Raiders selecting Decamerion Richardson, cornerback out of Mississippi State, in round 4, pick 112 of the 2024 NFL Draft. If you wanted the Raiders to draft a need, click that like button. It's exactly what they did. Yeah, there's some people out there that you wanted TJ Tampa. Yeah, there's some people out there they wanted Cam Hart. But at the end of the day, when I tell you about Richardson and what he brings to the table, I know a lot of people are going to tune into this video and being like, oh, Mitch is going to be mad. I can't wait to see what he says. When you read the write-ups on this guy, my guy Tom Downey, Dane, Brugler, somebody that I respect very, very much in this industry, when you read what they're saying about him, you're going to be like, that sounds like a Raider to me, and it sounds like it's going to be a good fit here with Antonio Pierce, Patrick Graham in this Raiders defense. If you don't already know, we got the best coverage on YouTube for draft content, chat sports, the Raiders Report. Hell, we got 5,300 people here watching the show. If you don't already know, pull up to us on YouTube. We're getting the picks before you see them on TV. We're breaking down every single prospect, and we're going to be here for the Raiders at pick 148, 208, 223, 229. Hit that subscribe button because I don't want you to miss it. So this man right here from Cullen, Louisiana, 23 years old, Mississippi State product, at 6'2", 188 pounds. Tom Downey had him ranked as his 21st ranked corner. I'll always say this, though. Tom does his rankings based on overall corners. When you read this player and what Antonio Pierce is looking for in a corner, I think that this is a better fit for the silver and black than the overall cornerback ranking suggests. The Athletic Dane Brugler says Richardson's inability to consistently make plays on the football is a red flag, but his size, speed traits, and ascending talent are tools that defensive coaches will want to develop in the NFL. He projects as a developmental press man cornerback, grade a 4th and a 5th round grade. What I really want to say about there is, sure, inability to consistently make plays on the football, it is a red flag. But when you see size, speed traits, all those ascending talents, I'm a believer that I believe in Antonio Pierce. Do you believe in AP? I do. Do you believe in Patrick Graham? I do. Do you believe in Ricky Manning, the Raiders cornerback coach? I do. I believe in this staff, and what I wanted was the silver and black to look at a defender, find a corner that has a lot of upside, and based off of the NFL draft people that I trust, it sounds like this young man here has a lot of upside and is what the Raiders are looking for. Long, lanky, physical, and a dude that loves to tackle. He led the SEC, right? The SEC, I want to say, is what it was 75-plus tackles the past 2 seasons. The Raiders don't want another Marcus Peters, ole. Now you're going to be able to find somebody that's not afraid to put their nose on the football and break it up. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's show. I want you to grade the pick A, B, C, D, or F. My answer after this YouTube ad break. The more and more I'm reading about this young man here, I'm going to give this a B grade. I think it's a good player, which is kind of fitting in this value of other corners that are starting to go off the board, but it's also fit. It's the mentality and physicality of the type of player that you're getting. I'm also a sucker for guys that love football. One of the notes that we have here on Decamerion Richardson is that he loves football. Brock Bowers loves football. Jackson Powers Johnson loves football. Delmar, Glaze, a note we had on him, loves football. Antonio Pierce wants guys that love football. It's easy to do it on Sunday. It's easy to do it one day a week when all the cameras are on. What are you doing on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday? That's what's going to make you a better football team. And now you're getting a young man that's got an opportunity to potentially start. Going to be going up against Brandon Faison, up against Sam Webb, up against Ja'Cory Bennett. This is a hell of an opportunity for a young man right there. Last season, 79 tackles, an 86.5 PFF coverage grade. You know I'm a slut for a good PFF coverage grade. 0 INTs, which is why maybe he's a corner, not a receiver. But the 7 PBUs, if he can clean up that ability to make some plays on the football, I think good things are here for this young man. I got to give a shout out to today's sponsor, GameTime. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. GameTime I love because I can go to the events that I want to, whether that's a Raiders game, whether that's a baseball game, a hockey game. But I also love going to events because you create memories. You're not going to remember the score 10, 20 years from now. But you know what? I still remember that first game I went to with my dad when the Mets and Cubs played. I still remember the Drake concert with Chugs, though there are definitely spots that are a little bit blurry. But when you make those memories, you're going to live with those for a lifetime. And GameTime is here to help you create those memories. So download the GameTime app. Create an account, use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code CHATSPORTS, that's CHATSPORTS, for $20 off. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. And if you're like, Mitch, I can't find the link anywhere. Well, luckily for you, my man Chugs has put it for you down in the comments, down in the description of today's show. My other favorite thing about GameTime is I don't like to be lied to. I hate when I go to other ticketing apps. I don't use them anymore, but I did. And you go to buy a ticket and it's like $50. You go to checkout and you're like, wait a minute, after taxes, fees, this is $100. Chugs always says, imagine if you bought a gallon of milk for $3. You went to checkout and they're like, it's $6. How's that even possible? Not going to happen with GameTime. You're going to see your seats right from the venue. I love it. Y'all should use it. One more time, shout out to GameTime, $20 off with code CHATSPORTS. So let's look at some of the picks here that Tom Telesco and Antonio Pierce have made thus far in the 2024 NFL Draft. You have best player available in Brock Bowers, tight end out of Georgia, which, calling him a tight end again, he's a weapon. He is a tight end slot receiver. You're going to be able to use him all over the football field. 52% of his snaps last season with the Bulldogs came out of the slot. And again, probably the best college football team in the last 3 years. Guess who was their number one go-to guy? Brock Bowers. Y'all wanted to hit the upgrade button on Hunter Renfrow? You did in Bowers. Jackson Powers Johnson, former wrestler, grew up a Raider fan, loves football. If you didn't watch him get in the call, you absolutely should. Another player, Delmar Glaze. Not a lot of people knew too much about him. We talked about him as being a potential round 5, round 6 grade, but because there was such a slide on offensive tackles going early, the Raiders said, I want somebody with versatility. And I'm going to make an NBA reference because I do think the NBA teams that win those titles have a good 6-man. Delmar Glaze, Thayer Munford, to me, are very, very similar prospects where both of them can play offensive tackle. Both can play offensive guard. Winner of that battle might end up being the starting right tackle, but both of those players have swing tackle ability. Both of those players have the ability to play guard. So if you're the Raiders, you go, the loser of that battle gives me a little bit more versatility on the interior and on the outside. And then today, at pick 112 in round 4, the Silver and Black, they go defense. They go need into Decamerion Richardson, and he's going to have an interesting battle here with some other players for the Silver and Black on the cornerback spot, because outside of Jack Jones and Nate Hobbs, this is a wide open battle. I mean, it really, really, truly is, because nothing is given to Brandon Pace on a team that hasn't really committed much to him. Jacorian Bennett was a 4th-round pick last year by the Josh McDaniels, Dave Ziegler regime. And then outside of that, you got Sam Webb. To me, he's probably a little bit better in the nickel in the slot. But when you look at the cornerback build, Brandon Faison, a corner that's above 6'2". Nate Hobbs, long, lanky, athletic corner. Jack Jones, long, lanky, athletic corner. Nate Hobbs, not afraid to tackle. Jack Jones, not afraid to be having that swagger and not afraid to put his nose on the football. The Raiders don't want another Marcus Peters. You're going to go out and get a guy in Richardson that loves the ball, loves the hit, and is going to bring that physicality. And if you bet on upside, Richardson is a player that has some of those intangibles, that has some of that length that, quite frankly, you simply can't teach. So far in the draft, who has been your favorite pick so far from top to bottom? Based on value alone, my favorite pick by the Silver and Black has been Jackson Powers Johnson. He's going to be your starting left guard or right guard, depending where they're going to put Dylan Parham. But Brock Bowers, the more and more tape I watch on him, this is going to sound weird, and you can pause me all you want. I couldn't go to sleep last night, so what did? I started watching tape on Powers Johnson, started watching tape on Delmar Glaze. The more and more tape I watch on Brock Bowers, I'm about to invite Brock Bowers, Delmar Glaze, Decamerion Richardson, and especially Jackson Powers Johnson. If you want to come to my wedding, my fiance might hate me, but damn it, I'm down to get down if you're ready to. Let's party it up down here in Dallas. Some of the other Raiders draft needs, some people are still waiting. Will they take a quarterback? Will you go Spencer Rattler? Will you go Michael Pratt? The name that I want you to keep in mind is Jordan Travis. It's been a name that's been thrown out there a bunch. You went out, you got a corner. I still think that the Raiders, just because they got Decamerion Robinson, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're not going to potentially sign a dude like Xavier Howard. This is a developmental player that I am worried if you put him out in the fire too soon, that it might not result in the best results. So you probably still want to try to find maybe a little bit more of a veteran. Let this guy learn. Again, you don't want to force too much on him. But right now for the Raiders, you still got round 5, round 6, and 2 picks in round 7. I really, really like what Antonio Pierce and Tom Telesco are doing here. Some other notes here from ESPN. Richardson has the length, frame, and speed to compete in press man coverage. Had the second quickest 10-yard split. That's important to me. I say this a lot. I like 10-yard splits for a corner because I don't need straight line speed. 40-yard dash is great. It's not too often you're sprinting 40 yards straight in the NFL. And I love this, 10-yard split guy. It's one of the reasons why that I fell in love with Max Crosby. 3-cone, 10-yard split. How quick are these guys in these short intermediate routes and these short intermediate areas? Decamerion Richardson, second best 10-yard split time. Tonight, I'm going to watch a lot of homework on Richardson. Maybe not tonight. I might be too late tonight. This weekend, I'm going to watch some tape here on Decamerion Richardson, and y'all should too. If you made it this far in the video, shout out to all the real ones out there. Make sure you pull up to the Raiders Report here on YouTube. We're getting wet and wild today. We're going to be having a freaking day. Again, I got over 5,000 people here pulled up to this show. If you want to party with the nation, Oakland style, it's Raiders Report. If you're already subscribed, send that link to a buddy. Put it on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and say, let's get lit with Mitchell Renz, Jeremy Chuggs today on the Raiders Report. Decamerion Richardson, welcome to the nation.